today not everywhere, and that's the reason why in the winter time, in the springtime, because the rain, we have a big problems about landslides. I don't know if you remember, I mean 4 years ago, what happened in these in the surroundings of Messina. A small village was completely covered by landslide. On the right hand, just down, and is in this case on the left, on the left side. Do you see at the moment South Italy? That's the Apennines. The mountain chains over there are called in this way Apennines. You see the town along the sea, that's Reggio Calabria. And on the northeast we have Villa San Giovanni. So perhaps that you heard your listener talking about the bridge, don't you? Yes or no? No? But you know our Prime Minister Berlusconi? Huh? Do you know him? Huh? He's we talk about always about Berlusconi. Why? Because all the papers, all the journalists, they write every day about him. Berlusconi, Berlusconi. For us, it's not so positive thing, but he and his friends, he would bridge, he would build a bridge between Sicily and the mainland. Private companies have this idea. Build the bridge between Sicily and the mainland. They say that will be really a good solution for the people. They have to cross the sea. They have to cross the strait. But we are not account to him or to them. Why? Because you can imagine these kind of earthquakes, so tectonic ones, are really the most dangerous in the nature. You listen always the people they live on our island talking about Mount Etna, because we are going to see Mount Etna, and all the people just giving informations about our volcano. It's the highest, the most volcano really known in constant state of eruption. At the moment we have no lava streams following down, but we have the steam up. He smokes every day. The people they live here, they say always it's not a problem, it's not dangerous Mount Etna, it's more dangerous to live in Messina. Why? Because in the middle of Messina Strait we have a fracture. We have south is Sicily and north is Sicily. It means Catania, Messina, and all this mainland Italy over there, that's in South Italy, all our mainland and all Europe, which belong to the Euro-Asian tectonic plate. But the west side Sicily belongs to the Africa, to this second one, African tectonic plate. And every day we have this kind of movement. The African tectonic plate moves underground, the Euro-Asian one causing the tectonic earthquakes, like the last one. They are the most dangerous we have in the nature. That's the reason why we don't want to have a bridge crossing the strait, first of all. And then perhaps you know that if you observe the surface of the sea, you see many waves, don't you? The white. Why? Because the wind. Yes, but that's not the only one reason. We have, if we have in the Ionian Sea, that's the Ionian Sea on the left, the ebb tide, we have in the Tyrrhenian Sea the low tide. 2 tides every 6-hour change. If from the Ionian Sea, the low tide really flow in the Tyrrhenian ones, and this kind of every 6 hours changing of the tide, what give us this kind of whirlpools. We have always in the not far from the strait and not far from the pier whirlpools, and for some big ships it's not so easy to cross because the winds, because the currents change every 6 hours, and because the earthquakes. We have every day small earthquakes, very cosmic, but we have every day small earthquakes in Messina. That's the reason why it's not a good idea to have a bridge crossing the strait and then we have the airport. Today, for crossing the strait, we have many ferries. We have two companies that do the same. Every 20 minutes we have departures and arrivals from Sicily to the mainland, from the mainland back, nights and days, and it takes only 20 minutes for crossing the strait. That's the reason that why we have the airports. We have you see the city over there, that's Reggio Calabria said. We have Reggio Calabria 1, and the second one, the most known, the largest one, is in Catania. And from Messina, driving to Catania is not so far. I said it takes only 1 hour. So it means, and then we know the habits, you know. In our country, in Italy, if we have plans for building something, and they say it will take only 7 years, you believe me, it means that we can wait for the same building 20 years, and if they say it's not so expensive, it will cost about 3 million euro, believe me, it will be the double. So we know the knowledges, we know the habits, we know the people. It's better not to build the bridge between cross. And you can imagine from Messina driving to Palermo, driving to Catania, it's not a problem. We have the motorways, we have many roads, but if the people went to Messina, went to Catania, went to Palermo, and from Messina they would like to drive directly to Agrigento, to the west south, it's not so easy today because we have not everywhere the motorways. So it means that it takes about 4 hours. So before building a bridge, it will be better to build the new roads, new railways, new motorways, and after, if they want, we can think to have a bridge. That's the opinion of the people that live in Messina. So we are on the motorway, how I said. You see that driving to Forza d'Agro, we are crossing many tunnels. This motorway was built in 1972, and we have down a beautiful coast road built by in the Roman age. You can imagine it means during the 2nd century AD. Still today we use it, we drive at just to take less time driving to Catania or driving to Taormina, because Taormina is not far from Messina, belongs to Messina, the town. Only 53 kilometers far is Taormina from Messina. It will be better to take the motorway. So that's our motorway. It's not a highway, you see, it's a really small one, but we have everywhere the mountains on the right and the sea on the left. All the villages, all the towns you see down on the sea are modern ones, because in the past Sicily had big problems about pirates. I mean, in the Middle Age, for example, the people, the pirates, they came from North Africa with the big ships. They arrived here, landed here, and the women and the children were always taken and just to North Africa and really set as slaves. That's the reason why in the Middle Age and just to 18th century AD, the people decided to build the villages in the mountains. And the two villages, Forza d'Agro and Savoca, are two of the 9 villages which belong to a valley called Forza d'Agro Valley. This valley is really known why, because in the mountains we have the most beautiful villages like Forza d'Agro and Savoca. And we are going to visit the two of them. And we are talking about what happened in 1971 about the Godfather. In this case, my dear, we are not far from Taormina. We are driving to, but you are going to see on the left all the town. In the past, the people they lived in Messina with the children. In the last 15 years, decided to stay here, to live here, not in the city, because I said Messina is the third largest city we have in Sicily. And for the children, for the families with children, with kids, it's more easy. The small small towns like this on the left, because it's not a big problem, because the traffic jam, they can play everywhere on the squares. It's more quiet, it's not a big problem, and that's mean that the people have to drive back to Messina going and walking. So you see now very well the slopes of the Maritime. You know that Messina's harbour is one of the deepest, the safest in the Mediterranean. In the past, all the ships we driving from the North Europe, they had to drive to Messina. Thanks to these import-export activities, Messina was the richest city in the past. But from this city we cannot see monuments or buildings or squares or churches, because how I said, all this city of the past was wrecked by the last earthquake. But about Sicily, I said, that's the largest island we have in the Mediterranean. 5 million people live on Sicily. Capital of our island is Palermo. The second largest is Catania. Catania is not far from Palermo, it's 190 kilometers far from Palermo. But every town, every village, every city is really different. That depends on the history, because the first people they left here were the Sicilians. They came from South Spain and lived in the Stone Age in Messina, in the west side of Sicily. After the Sicilians landed here, the Caesars, they came from South Italy, and they lived northeast and southeast Sicily. With the Elima, they came from Asia, where the first free population, they decided to live on our island in the past. After them arrived here the Phoenicians. They founded Palermo in the 10th century BC. After the Phoenicians arrived here, the Greeks. The Greek colonization of Sicily began during the 18th century BC. The first Greek colony founded on this island was Naxos, today Georgia Naxos. Taormina too is a Greek colony founded by the survivors of Naxos, when Naxos was wrecked by Denis or Dionysus of Syracuse, the town of Syracuse. So in this case, you see up on the right hand up the clouds. That's Mount Etna. At the moment, the summit of Mount Etna is closed by clouds, but back the slopes of the Maritime hills, we have Mount Etna up. Everywhere in the Maritime you see this kind of small valleys. How I said, we are going to see many of these. The largest one is Agro Valley. You see now on the right hand something that you perhaps never saw in your country. On the right hand you see this kind of things by the people. Sicilian people are called torrenti, this, or fiumare, this is right, on the right. These fiumare are flat bottom and torrent beds, waterless in the summertime, but filled by green and rainwater in the winter and the springtime. And how I said, the rainwater collects in this kind of channel, and then just on the left takes the Ionian Sea. That's the reason why it's not possible to build buildings all along this kind of torrent beds. And several times we lived the past landslides because the rains in these channels, in these torrent beds. So we are not far. They are restoring the motorway in this case.